On April 2, Jackson County voters will be asked to extend a 3/8 cent sales tax to fund improvements at the Chiefs Stadium, as well as fund the construction of a new baseball park for the Royals. If the past is any indication, voters will hear three arguments in favor of the tax. First, that this is not a tax increase. Second, that the project will have a positive economic impact. And third, that these deals are necessary to keep teams where they are. None of these claims are true. This is a tax increase. Were the issue not on the ballot, the existing sales tax would expire in 7 years, and that would mean more money in your pocket. The sales tax in some parts of Kansas City is already over 10%. That is way too high. We don't know what other subsidies the Royals owners will seek. He will likely ask for property tax abatements or tax financing that returns any sales, property, or income taxes generated at the site back to the Royals to pay for construction. That means schools, libraries, and roads won't get the funds they need to serve Jackson County residents. The economic impact claims are also spurious. Imagine a new price chopper opens up across the street from your house. You might shop at the new location, but you won't also shop at the previous location. You merely change your behavior, you don't spend twice as much. The problem with economic impact studies is that they only count the new spending at the new location. They ignore the fact that you aren't spending money where you used to. Right now, people often spend money at liquor stores and grocery stores on their way to the stadium to tailgate beforehand. If the park moves downtown to a place where there is less parking, people may decide to spend money at bars and restaurants across the street from the park. But that isn't new spending. It's just different spending. We see an example of this downtown. When the Power and Light District opened, we saw all the new restaurants and bars and maybe thought that this was new and additional economic activity. City leaders certainly told us it was, but it wasn't. According to data from the Kansas City Regulated Industries Division, the number of liquor licenses and employee health cards issued citywide remained flat. The Power and Light District didn't create any new economic activity. There weren't additional restaurants and restaurant workers. It merely shifted jobs and restaurants from elsewhere in the city to downtown. And incidentally, it shifted them from locations where the county collected taxes to fund roads, schools, and libraries to a district where those taxes were returned to developers to offset the cost of construction. In a 2017 report, the St. Louis Federal Reserve remarked that the economic activity generated by sports stadiums are exaggerated exactly because they don't account for the change in behavior. A 2019 report from the University of California, Berkeley also concluded, quote, "The inescapable truth is that the economic impact of these projects on their communities is minimal," end quote. Professional team owners don't need these incentives either. Consider the case of Stan Kroenke, who moved the Rams from St. Louis to Los Angeles in 2016. In doing so, he walked away from at least $400 million in subsidies offered to him by the city of St. Louis and the state of Missouri. Instead, he moved to Los Angeles, where he was offered exactly zero. He invested about $1.6 billion of his own money to build the $5.5 billion SoFi Stadium. The billionaire owner of the Royals could just as easily raise the private investment needed to build his own stadium. The idea that Jackson County voters should be asked to reach into the pockets of working-class shoppers in order to build anything for a billionaire is morally outrageous. Lots of people stand to make a lot of money from this project. There will be an army of consultants on TV and radio urging a yes vote because they and their organizations will benefit. Construction companies and developers whose own corporate headquarters were funded by taxpayer money will also chime in. The facts remain. This project won't create new jobs. It won't benefit the people of Jackson County. It isn't necessary for the wealthy owner of the Royals, and it's bad for taxpayers, especially the poorest among us. Learn more at showmeinstitute.org.